Hi, my name's Sam Shearer, Managing Director of Ortery Technologies. Just a little bit about my background. I got my Bachelor of Science at Michigan State University and my MBA at National Taiwan University. I helped start and have been working at Ortery Technologies for the past 20 years. At Ortery, we manufacture product photography solutions that take advantage of software and hardware working together to automate product photography. As a result, our customers, both big and small, enjoy the advantages of an easier and faster product photography workflow. This segment, I thought it'd be fun and interesting to go back and look at the e-commerce breakthroughs that happened over the past 20 years and got us to this point. Currently, Amazon is king, and over 15% of the retail sales in the United States come from e-commerce. In 2003, when we started Ortery's office in California, e-commerce product photography was just beginning. Digital cameras were outputting 4 megapixels. Most people had CRT monitors. LED lighting didn't even exist, and guess what? eBay was king. In this section, I'm going to lump some things together. They're not really breakthroughs per se, but they're more like an ongoing progression of things that had to happen. Make no mistake though, many of them play a large role in the ability to create and distribute e-commerce photos. Number one is internet speed. In the beginning, it was painfully slow, and you couldn't really shop if you were spending all your time waiting for images to download. Now today, everything's in real time. LED monitors, I don't know if you knew, but CRT monitors were really bad at color reproduction. And LED monitors have come out. They've gotten so much better at color reproduction. In the very beginning of e-commerce, what would happen is you had a lot of returns. The customer would receive the product, take it out of the box and go, this isn't the color that I ordered. They would return it. This was a giant problem that LED monitors have completely, I don't want to say completely, have solved a lot on. The other main thing here with regards to color is the sRGB color space, going across all the different devices and making sure that colors are consistent. So wonderful things with regards to making sure that the e-commerce workflow after the sale, what you see is what you get, and reducing returns. Other huge improvements were the digital camera, the quality and the functionality of digital camera. And love it or hate it, image editing has come a long way, okay, including opportunities to get your images edited offshore. At the beginning, I hardly knew anybody who knew Photoshop inside and out. Nowadays, just about everybody that I know knows Photoshop or some other program like that. Image editing has become very simple. Looking back, here's what we think are the top 10 e-commerce product photography breakthroughs. The first one we're going to talk about is camera control software. The ability to control a camera's settings and take pictures using software. In 2001, we found out that Canon was going to launch their first software development kit. That changed everything. You don't have to be behind the camera anymore. Since the camera is digital, it could be attached to a computer. It could be attached to a computer by USB and can be controlled like a computer peripheral. This meant that third-party developers could use Canon cameras for a lot of different applications, and it really opened the doors. For Nikon, some of their cameras can be controlled through USB, and some can't. Sony, if you've got a Sony camera, they recently relaunched their SDK program as well. Number two is the creation of photography light boxes. As soon as e-commerce started to get going, people wanted to shoot and make it easy. They wanted to shoot inside of a light box and have their employees take as many photos per day as they possibly could. Makes sense. Today you can see that these photography light boxes are everywhere. They range in prices from extremely low and all the way up to extremely high, and those more sophisticated boxes are able to do some pretty amazing things. But this, we felt, was the beginning of e-commerce photography in earnest. Grab yourself a light box and a camera and start taking pictures, get them up on the web, and make some sales. Next up is improvements in LED lighting. The lights are tiny, they take up less space, low energy, and they last forever. So it's real easy to use LED lights inside of different structures like photography light studios. The dimmable LED lights in particular are wonderful for e-commerce photography. They provide a continuous lighting environment so that when you are behind the camera or you're using software to control your camera, you're in this what you see is what you get environment, which makes it really simple for novice photographers to get great results. Finally, LED lights from a technical point of view they've really increased in color accuracy over the past few years. They're also able to change color temperature at a whim. So the applications of these LED lights are endless, but specifically for e-commerce photography, they essentially offer a low-cost solution that is reliable, flexible, and gets the job done. Of all the things that have changed over the past few years, e-commerce photography has gotten faster and easier than ever before. What they really did is raise the bar for e-commerce photography. Pictures had to be on pure white, they had to be square, they had to take up a certain percentage of space inside of the frame. And what it did is it really set the rules on how everyone took pictures for e-commerce. These rules created a clean shopping environment and put emphasis back on the product instead of what was going on in the background. Is really nice. As a result, sales went up, and this e-commerce product photography method was adopted as a standard throughout the world. Right on the heels of Amazon's success, and obviously they're asking people to create pictures with a pure white background, was the increased use of bottom lighting in e-commerce photography. And what this meant is companies started to look for and seek out ways to get their pictures created as fast and as easy as possible. It wasn't perfect, but being able to light a product from underneath or from the back eliminated, after you got done taking the pictures, it eliminated most of the editing and allowed companies to really start to mass produce images for e-commerce. The next item on the list of great e-commerce breakthroughs over the past 20 years goes back to that idea of if you show more information, then people will be more likely to buy. The introduction of 360-degree product photography really brought two big breakthroughs. It certainly allowed customers to see more of a product, and it offered a new format in which they could do so. That format allowed them to interact with the products. They could zoom in on it. They could view hotspots that gave more information about the product, and it was just a more interesting display. Of course, when you let people have these capabilities, they're going to purchase more. It had a large effect. And some of those effects were increased sales, reduced returns, keeping people on the page longer, and it just was a boondoggle for e-commerce in general. Everybody benefited. The website, the products that are being sold flew off the shelves, the people who were doing the shopping. Now 360-degree product views are being used pretty much everywhere. It took a long time to get here, but I would say nowadays, just about every platform that you are selling on will give you the option to display a 360-degree product view, and some of those platforms even make it a requirement. As an extension of this, 3D photography. It hasn't happened quite yet, but 3D photography is something that's possible in the tech world, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer for things to catch on. And that's what's happening here. 3D photography will be big. I can promise you that. In one way, shape, or form, it will come. One way to do it is with 3D photogrammetry or 3D modeling and rendered images from a CAD CAM. This is a nice thing. It certainly has a very smooth, interactive feel to it, but sometimes the pictures don't look as real as a sharp, crisp photograph. So another way to do it is similar to 360-degree photography, where you're just going to use multiple cameras to take pictures of the object as it rotates on a turntable. Now, some of the benefits about this are these 3D animations can be created hemispherical or spherical, takes maybe 5 to 7 minutes. They're extremely clear, they're clean, and they offer an entire view of the product that's interactive. So they really go a lot further in communicating a product's value from every angle. One of the next big breakthroughs was edge-driven 360-degree photography turntables. If you look at a regular turntable, you see at the top is hard. And no matter what you do here, you're going to either get a reflection or you're going to get a shadow on top of this turntable. With the edge-driven turntable, it's turned from the very sides. And what you're able to do is bottom light that turntable so that as the product spins, there's no reflection, there's no shadow. You're taking pictures that are on pure white. You're taking pictures that immediately can be used on a website. That right there, the ability to eliminate editing from your 360-degree product views, saves companies a lot of time and effort, especially in the editing process. More importantly, it opens the door to high throughput product photography. Companies are easily able to shoot thousands of pictures per day in a 360-degree format and not have to edit them. Very good for e-commerce product photography. It's a giant breakthrough. As e-commerce grew, the components came together, and new ways to express pictures online led to an increased online sales. One big example of this was Zappos.com and their ability to show the main angles. They were one of the first companies that we saw that started to standardize the way that a product is shown online. Customers saw this online, felt more comfortable, they got more information, and it led to a purchasing decision. Zappos was the retailer that took advantage of e-commerce photography to display and create something new that worked and led to more sales. Taking pictures with transparent backgrounds. In the past few years, new technology has allowed the product photography workflow to change again. And this time, again, change for the better, to simplify and automate things that used to take forever. In this case, multiple shots of a product can be taken and evaluated within seconds to output a new product shot, same product shot, but without a background. The background's completely stripped away inside the product photography workflow. Not in post, but literally while you're taking the pictures. So it just takes a few seconds now, and the result is not only fast, it's pretty amazing to see it in action. This method works for still, 360, and 3D photography. As a benefit, the photographer can choose whether they want to keep the natural shadow under the product or not. So you can really see, on websites today, if you scroll down the main page of a website, you're going to see a lot of products that are on a background that's been filled with either a specific color or a whole new image in the background. This is the technology. I mean, of course you can do it in Photoshop, but this kind of technology is going to allow people to do it faster and easier. Take those pictures, strip out the background, and get it online or for your social media as fast as possible. Next up on the list is ease of video creation. Now, videos aren't photos, and they're not really anything new, but certainly cameras are getting better at taking them, and it's easier to create a video today than ever before. Get some lights, grab a camera, and you're pretty much shooting. So whether it's a video of someone being interviewed or a video about a product, talking about the benefits and features, or somebody using the product, these videos are showing up everywhere. They don't have to always stay on the e-commerce product page. You'll see videos obviously on YouTube. You'll see them in social media. Their main function is it gives marketers the ability to tell a story and get that story out onto different platforms and make it be interesting to inform and bring customers into the fold where they can make the online sale. My final breakthrough that I want to mention is product recognition. It's the combination of several technologies and concepts that you've been hearing for a while, the Internet of Things, big data, artificial intelligence, kind of all working together to give, in this case, it gives the consumer an amazing e-commerce tool. Take Google Lens, Bixby, Vivino. These are different apps that you can use that when you take a picture, it goes out to the database, it recognizes exactly what you took the picture of, and it gives you information about where you can find that product, how close it is to you, whether it's in stock, what's the price, how many reviews it has. This kind of information, to think, 20 years ago, to think that we would come this far, that we could reverse search for an image, get an image, reverse search something, and immediately you've got all the information about that product and where to buy it. For e-commerce, the implications of that are just huge. I mean, wow. I'd like to thank the Retail Innovation Conference for creating this event and allowing us to speak and share our views. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about e-commerce photography, certainly stop by our virtual booth or give us a call at Ortery Technologies. Thank you so much for listening.